Good evening, ladies. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well tonight. Okie dokie. I am going to look for us over on another device just so I can monitor. Okay, groups. Tonight is our regular card class. And it is our fancy fold card class tonight. Okie dokie. Yeah, here's my directions. Sometimes I need them right next to me. All right, I think our first card, it is called a corner fold. And it might be a little challenging, but I think I did all the scoring for us. Hi, Doris. How are you doing tonight? Okay, so this is what we're doing. And I really tried to get a lot of the embellishment part done for you, like the blending brush on certain things. So I'm just going to kind of walk us through what we have. So you're going to have this front panel. It's called Enjoy the Journey. You will have, oh, I hope I did the starfish, the message in a bottle, the sand dollar, the congrats. You will have this would be lagoon, and then champagne, so 2 squares. I'm going to set those aside. We're going to have a rectangle, which will have this on top of it. Oh, I did do the starfish. Oh, thank goodness. And then you're going to have this panel. So I've already folded and scored it for you because it was a little bit on the tricky side, but I am going to kind of walk you through how to do it so that you're able to. It is so freezing outside. I know the kids are going bananas in class because they can't be outside, and it's too much. It's just too much. Okay. Sorry, we digressed there for a second. So you're going to need a piece of pattern paper that is 6 3/4 by 8. So that's what this piece is. 6 3/4 by 8 inches. Good evening, Patty. I see I have 4 people on, but I'm not quite sure who. Doris, Patty, and 2 others. And then I did 2 scores. So let's kind of discuss what those are. So if you wanted to jot this down, you could. So again, it was 6 3/4 by 8. And then I scored at, let's see, it is 2 3/4 here. And I believe this is 2 3/4 this way as well. It is. So you do 2 3/4 this way and 2 3/4 this way. Okay. And if you have a directional paper, you're really going to need to pay close attention because I did not do that the first time around. So I had to recut everybody's paper. Hi, Val. Glad you're on. Okay. So after you've done the scoring, which I've already done yours for you, you take the upper, so you have basically it's upside down for you. You're going to take this upper square, you see it made a square, you fold it in so that the 2 score lines meet on the right and the bottom. And then you would burnish them with your bone folder. Then when you open it, now you are going to create like this little pocket. Remember the old-fashioned cootie catchers? So you had that origami fold. That's what this kind of is. But I already did it all for you, so you're good to go. Okay, so what we need to do though is we're going to take this panel and we're going to glue it onto our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so that is the first thing we need to do. And I have spare adhesive sitting next to me because because I have a feeling this one's going to run out real fast tonight. And I am going to put a little bit in the middle. So this, I'm going to just center it on to that bigger piece of cardstock. So that cardstock was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this piece will lay right on top of it. Okay. Now we're going to place this piece right here in the center. And this is right where that, I believe I already did the blending for you. So you would write your little message on this piece, or you could just carefully sign it and maybe write your message on the back if you wanted, because the back is completely empty. So I'm just going to center it. Okay, now we're going to close, nope, before we close up the panel, we need to put this piece in so that we have a pretty piece. So I'm going to put the champagne piece down first. And this is close to my heart colors. This is actually close to my heart paper. I still have a ton, ladies. I am working on it, working through it as quick as I can. Stampin' Up did put some new goodies in the Last Chance section. So that is there now. If you have been thinking about becoming a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, now is the time because it is on sale. If you do a 3-month, a 6-month, or a 12-month subscription, it is on serious discount. Okay, now we can close it up. Let's build this piece before we put it on. So I'm going to take the piece that says enjoy the journey, and I'm going to put it on that other rectangular piece. That's going to go right here. And I'm trying to think, what was the other special right now. They are doing something, Stampin' Up is doing something that's similar to the Stamp of the Month that Close to My Heart had done, but it is called Product of the Month. So when you spend $75, that unlocks the Product of the Month. And the cool thing is, it's always going to be a surprise every month. So we won't know what it is. It's kind of a good thing and it's kind of a bad thing. As a demonstrator point, I wish demonstrators could get it early, but we can't. We're in the same boat as you. And we don't know what it is either before you know. So we all learn what it is at the same time. It's just, I don't have that opportunity to create something with it so that you could see how to use whatever the product is. This month is a gorgeous set of paper, DSP, and it's all in blue tones. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I haven't gotten mine yet because mine has not shipped. But from what I can tell, it looks spectacular. Okay, so let's stop chit-chatting and get this glued down. So when I go to glue, I only want this upper left-hand corner to be glued onto this panel. If I glue the rest of it, then I'm closing my card, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put some adhesive right here, and actually I'm going to put it right on this portion so that then I know, and I really gave it a lot of adhesive. So now I'm going to put my rectangle on. Push it on good. So now I know I've done just what I needed so that I'm able to lift up the rest of it. Next, we're going to put the bottle on, and the bottle would kind of go, kind of here. And again, be very mindful as to where you're gluing so that you're not closing up your card. Because That would be like a major bummer. Okay, and I'm okay with covering up a little bit of the word journey. No big deal there. And now I'm going to put my sand dollar next. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit on the higher side. Right about there. And now I'm going to put a little bit of foam behind my starfish. Yeah, I believe the kids are kind of all itching to be on a break, but so are the teachers. We're all kind of a little ready. Like that Thanksgiving break was good, but just not long enough. Some of my smarties, he's a second grader. His name is Malik. He's adorable. He said to me this morning when I was working with him, he goes, you know, Miss V, we only have one more day this week, and then we have 2 more long weeks. And I just looked at him. I said, you know, Malik, you are so right. He goes, I need a vacation. I'm like, I agree. Okay, so now I'm going to put my starfish on. And I did put that on with some foam so that I had a little more dimension going. And now we're going to put on our gems. So your gems are sequin, and they are called Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins. So I think I either gave you 1 color or 2 colors. I don't remember which, but we are going to be putting 5. Hopefully I gave you 5. So I am going to do, let's see, let me see what I did here. I might have done a combination of close to my heart ones. So I'm going to kind of do this coppery color and then another coppery color at the bottom, a bronzy one down here. Let's do a bronzy big at the top, and I'm going to do a goldy whatever color that is right there. So I did 3 in this bottom section. I did a large and 2 smalls, and then up here I did a large and a small. And then that is our first card. So what is nice about some of these, this one again was a corner fold. You can find them on YouTube, which is right where I found them. Okay, so that is our first one, and it is a congratulations card. All right, number 1 done. Let's mosey on to number 2. So number 2 is going to have these grays and pinks. And this card is a very unique opening. So when it stands, it's going to create this tunnel, so to speak. And then to open, you're going to lean it, and then this side would come out. And I certainly hope I did that little pink wash for you. So I'm going to set that right there. You will have 3 pink gems. You're going to have a glittered hello, and you might need to do a little popping of things out. Hopefully they pop out. And this is, it's a close to my heart glitter paper. I am trying to use up my stash, which I know many of you are doing the same exact thing. Okay, so we have the hello. You will have a blue leaf, a pink circle, a small little polka dot. You will have the sentiment, and yes, I did do the pink for you. you're going to have a pink skinny, which is 3/4 of an inch. We're going to have a little plaid. You will have a floral and then a polka dot as well. And then you will have 2 gray pieces. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to fold the one that has 1 score line. Okay, so let's fold that in on itself and let's give it a nice crispy edge. This is this back piece right here. Okay, so if you want, this panel can get the floral. Let's put that on first. Okay, I know I'm getting close to the end here. There we go. So I'm going to put my floral on first. And then when you open it, this same panel on this side, so let me open it this way, it's going to get our sentiment. Okay, so let's put our sentiment here next. You will see how easy this card is. I mean, it's more of a showstopper versus it being challenging, because it's really not challenging at all. So I'm going to place this on. I'm going to just center it within that border. And then you have a small little polka dot piece. And that small little polka dot piece goes right down here at the bottom. And I think I'm going to switch adhesives, just because I know I'm getting very close to the end. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and put it down at the bottom. Let's see, how far am I? I'm maybe 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to set this piece aside for a moment. So let's set that aside. And we're going to bring in the panel that has 1, 2, 3, and 4 score lines. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold each one in on itself. So I folded that large one. Now I'm going to do the next one. And again, I'm going to fold in on itself. I'm going to fold the next one. And then the last one, which is a very small one. Okay, and that's what's going to create the square. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put really strong adhesive on this tiny little 1/2 inch piece. So I'm just going to use some score tape. You can use red line tape. You can use whatever you have that's nice and strong. I like this score tape. This one's super skinny, so I am going to do 2 little panels of tape. Okay, so when we go to adhere it, we want this flat edge to lay right next to this score line. So if you're looking, you're at your 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right at the 4th score line. Don't have it on the line. You need it just, so if I'm holding it like this, it's going to be on this right-hand side of the score line, very close to it. Okay, so I'm going to peel that off, and I'm going to peel the other one off, just like that. And I'm going to kind of fold all of this so that it starts to make a box. You see what I'm doing here? So it's not going to be right next to it. It's going to be sort of, that's what I'm saying. If you fold it so that it makes that square, then you will be able to keep it as a square. And I'm just having it stand, and now I'm just going to lightly press. Now I can, well, that's, hold on. There we go. Voila. Okay, so what I'm going to redo it just so that you can see what I did. Hopefully I can get this open. There we go. I got it. So what I did was I'm going to keep it flat. So I have that 1/2 inch, and then this next inch, this is all exposed. I'm going to take this nice chunky part and I'm going to fold it over and let the two kiss each other. Now it's going to create my square perfectly. Okay? Now this piece is going to lay right on the inside. Nope, that's not right. It goes this way. There we go. So now, let's push it this way again. This square, this piece right here, this square, you're going to push it to the left so that you would have a 1 square and then a 2 square. We're putting adhesive on this first one, and this first one is then going to lay on the inside of our card. So let's put our adhesive here, not to the second one and not to this lighter colored one, lighter gray. I just cannot talk tonight. So again, I am going to use my tear tape just because it is a little bit stronger. This card needs that stability. And I just ran out. I have more. I'll put a piece there and a piece there. There we go. All right, let's peel these off. Or not. There we go. Sunday Fun Day will be a layout. So I'm going to take that part that I just put my adhesive on, and I'm going to put it flush to the inside of right where we were. So now you have just created this part. That piece lays inside, and now we just need to finish our decorating. And it does lay nice and flat, hopefully. So the first thing we're going to put on will be the polka dot. So let's put our blue polka dot piece on first for our decorating here. And I'm just going to center this. I'm going to center it within. Okay. The pink is going to go onto this panel so that we have something there, and you can use the dark side or the light side. I'm using the light side. I do have our January class design, so I will be showing you that this evening. I'm going to take my plaid piece and I'm going to adhere that to the left-hand side of the polka dots. Our theme for January will be sympathy. So we will be doing those cards and I will show you at the end of tonight's class, and then I just need to create the event. Okay. Next, we're going to take our circle and we're going to put it at the bottom of the blue. Again, you can do what you would like. If you would prefer it in the center, go right ahead. You can put it right in the center. You can put it at the top, wherever you choose. Okay, next I'm going to put my hello down next. And I am going to bring in my silicone mat just because it is such a thin, delicate die cut. And I am using my favorite liquid glue. And we are going to tuck that blue leaf. So you may want to be very careful when you lay the hello down, not to put it all the way down, like over here in this corner by the H. So now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the leaf. Oopsie daisy. And I'm going to tuck it under here. There we go. I'm just going to hold it for a second to make sure it all adhered. And we're going to put our gems on next. I am going to put the large gem at the top by the leaf, along with the small one. And then I'm going to do the medium on the right-hand side below the circle. And that is our tunnel card. I believe that's what this one's called. Let me look. Actually, it is called a book jacket card. A book jacket card. Isn't that pretty? It's a little unique, but it is very pretty. And then this panel just goes under, like that. And it does fold down so that you're able to put it right into your standard envelope. Okay, let's mosey on to the next one. Now the next one is called a bay window card. So this one will tuck under this far edge, that tiny little tuck. And so when you're looking at it like this, you're like, oh, okay, it just has a pretty little fold. But when you hold it this way, it looks like a bay window. Okay, so let's begin. You're going to have a little leaf, which we're only using a small portion of it. So set that aside. we are going to have the pears. Now, we still have this little bit to color in, or you can leave it blank. I'm just going to color it in lightly with some colored pencils. You will have this little thatched embellishment. We're going to have a good friend is a gift saying, and then a piece of capri. You will have, I certainly hope I cut everything, 2 super skinny yellow pieces. You will have 1, 2, 3, and I did not cut your yellow piece for the inside. All right, that's a small problem. So if you have a piece of yellow, you're going to want to get that out. Ah, bananas. All right, so I need to grab a piece of yellow. And now the yellow that's in this, I believe, is like a lemon or a lemonade, either or, whichever one you can find. You might even want to pull in a green or the pink. The green was avocado, the pink is flamingo, the blue is capri. So any of those colors, grab a piece of paper. I'm going to grab mine and my paper trimmer, so you grab yours. Crap on a cracker, and I thought I had it all cut. I'm so sorry, ladies. All right, I need to trim that. Oh, it's in your envelope. Then where's mine? Hold on, let me see if mine's like shifted somewhere else. I don't know where mine is. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Oh, there's mine. It's stuck to my thing. Okay. Never mind. We don't need that. Oh, thank goodness. You know, because I would be firing the person who does all the paper cutting. They are just not doing their job now, are they? All right, so job number 1, we're going to start here on this front. So that piece that we were looking for is going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to set it aside. I'm going to start with the smallest pieces, those teeny tiny pieces. Val, I hope yours was in your envelope too. Okay, so I'm going to put this tiny, tiny piece to the very end of the card, and you're just going to center that in. Center that right on in. Okay, and now I'm going to do that other little one at the very far end, kind of right where my card would be opening. Okay, so we have those done. Now we're going to take our florals, and you need to place them. Now, when I did cut, they should hopefully kind of line back up. All right. Sort of. So you're going to have 2 that are slightly skinnier and then 1 that is slightly chubbier. The chubby one is going to be the one that goes in the middle, okay? So lay them out, and as you can see, like right here, and sort of, maybe, kind of. All right, let me just do some wiggling because they should, there we go. They should line up because I really tried to make sure. So mine line up like that, okay? So I have a thinner and a thinner, and then that one piece that's slightly wider is in the center. Okay, so I'm just going to use my regular adhesive for these. And I'm going to center this within that white section that has been scored for you. And so be careful when you're putting them then down with your adhesive that you keep them going the same direction so they all match back up again. I don't think anybody would notice other than you, but it's completely up to you, you know, how you do this. I did cut them, you know, with the thought of lining them back up, so it was like a scene almost. Okay, so that's all of that. What we need to do after we have these all glued down is we're going to fold each one, but we're folding them again into themselves. So they're all going to go in the same direction. So I'm going to do this tiny little piece first. And I'm going to use my bone folder to really give it a good crease. Now I'm going to fold this next piece, the next panel. And I'm just going to keep on doing that, folding each panel with my bone folder. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines. Next, we're going to take that piece that we were looking for, and we're actually going to put foam tape on this because we need it to be raised so that that tiny little outer lip has something to adhere to. So I'm going to put my foam tape here. And I'm just going to put it on the very far right edge. So now when I do my card, this very tiny little panel, that's the one that now will feed into this. And you might have to do a little manipulating to get it to do what we need it to do, like that. I'm going to bend this last one back just a hair, just so it gives me more of that look of like a window, like that. Okay, next, we're going to finish our decorating of it. So I'm going to open it all back up. Now, when I go to put this panel on, I only want it adhered to this nice wide center piece. So I'm going to do the saying first. Like that. I'm going to lay it here in the center and now a little bit upside down. And I'm going to be very generous with that adhesive because I don't want it falling off. So now I'm going to adhere that on. And again, it's only in that center panel. So the outer edge will be able to be raised. I'm going to take that fun pink component and I'm going to put some liquid glue on that. Okay, let me find my tweezers. And I'm going to place that on the white piece. I'm going to hold it down just for a second. Okay, next I'm going to take the pears and I'm going to bring in colored pencils just so I can color in the leaves. And I'm going to lower this down just a hair for you. There we go. Let's see. I need a little bit of a green and I want a little bit of brown. That's yellow. That's blue. So now I gotta find the brown. There we go. So I'm going to do the stem. And now I'm going to go in with some green. And I'm really going light. And these were just colored pencils in my stash. You do what you have. I am going to go over this center line with my brown, just so that I'm emphasizing it a little bit more. Just like that, and that's all I'm going to do. Now, the pear is from a stamp set. It's actually in the Last Chance section. The die and the stamp set are both in the Last Chance, and the paper that matches it. I'm going to put some foam. I just saw it last night, so it is such a pretty paper pack. Let's cut this a little bit more. Okay, now before I go taking this component off, I'm going to just set it here so that then I can bring in some of these leaves. Now, using my scissors, I want these top two, and I'm just going to make a little snip because I want those. I don't want that, but I do want this next two. And I'm going to set that over there. So the reason I'm not gluing this down yet is because I want to be able to tuck these leaves underneath. All right, so I'm going to just tuck. Oops, let's bring that down a little bit. Just covering up my words. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I think I'm going to use my tweezers. And now I want that here. And now I will take the foam off the back and then put that on, put the pear on next. And I'm just going to twist and turn like that. And I think I want just a hint of shimmer. and I'm just gonna do the leaves because I did use a watercolor pencil to color. So this is just gonna smooth that all out. Like that. And I think I'll put a little bit here, like in these darker sections of the pear. Cute. So cute. All right. And last but not least, we need to put our holographic resin dots on. So let's see. You should have 3. You're going to have a large one, and we are going to put the large one underneath the A, so between the A and that pink little thing, hashtag, or whatever it's called. Next, we're going to do a medium one. And for that one, I'm going to go off of the D. So between the D and my leaf that we just cut, I'm going to put that there. And now I'm going to put one small one, and I'm going to go in that center panel underneath my pear. Just like that. So I have created that visual triangle. I'm telling you, this is another thing Stampin' Up! Does very, very well, are their embellishment dots. Love them, ladies. Love them. So let's make sure that our card is going to stand. I'm going to tuck that little panel in, and you can manipulate it just a little with your hand, and it stands. Isn't that cute? A bay window card. Fun. Okay. Set that one aside, and we're moseying on to our last one. And there's our last one. There's a lot of parts to this one. So let's get ourselves ready. And this one is great for a birthday, a female birthday, more like a teen tween, I would say, younger adult, younger female adult. So this one has that belly band, and it's going to slide off. Then you're going to have an open and an open, and then it's going to fold up like an easel. Okay, so let's get ready. And I'm just going to set everything to the side. So now you will have, and I didn't do all of it because there's parts that you need to do. So we have that cute little panel, and then you're going to have a purple strip. Set those aside. That will be our belly band. You're going to have the popping up to say hi. And then you will have this little piece that will be foam taped to make it pop. This piece goes on the inside, so set that aside. You should have 2 pieces that have X's, a striped piece, and then polka dots. Okay, and now you have a large piece of cardstock that has a score line, a big panel, a score line, a center score line. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold those outer score lines in on itself. Just like that. Now I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to do the same thing. Fold it in on itself. And this is called an easel gatefold. So what we've just done, if I open this back up, this is that bottom piece. this is that top piece. So what we need to do, let me find a marker so that you can see what I'm going to say. This panel we need to cut, and this panel we need to cut. So this is the top of my card. We are cutting this panel and this panel off. So you can either use a trimmer or your scissors, whichever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to just use my scissors tonight. And we folded it on the score lines, so that's going to help you. I'm going to go right to that score line, and now I'm going to cut right where I made my X. And that panel is off. Now I'm going to cut here, and it's easier for me to cut this tiny part. So I'm going to go in. Now I'm going to cut the other X off. And now that one's off. So if I lay this back onto my table, now I have two flaps at the bottom and then one longer, larger piece. This top section, I want to fold it in half to this score line, to that center score line. And I'm going to use my bone folder to give it a very crispy edge. Okay, so that is what's going to create that easel for us. I will give you a moment to kind of catch up with me. And we're going to kind of work out from the inside out. Okay. And I'm going to actually raise the camera a little. There we go. Okay. We're going to start right here with our center, and that is going to be the plain white piece. So put your plain white piece in that center panel right here. So between those two flaps. And all I did was just eyeballed it so that it's smack in the middle. Next, we will take the two X pieces, and those will go on either side next to that white. So I'm going to go here. And here. Okay, next we're going to grab our little piece of, I believe this was, oh, what color? It's not mist, it is, I don't remember. It's a close to my heart color, but I don't remember. We're going to put foam tape on this. Periwinkle. I knew I'd remember. Periwinkle. I just had to think. So now we're going to put this in, and it it kind of matters, but it doesn't matter. So if you go up really high, then your easel's going to go very high. If you go low, then your easel's going to go low. If you go more middle, then it will hit here. Now, right now, it's not going to hit because we haven't been folding the card completely. We've only done that part. So I'm going to kind of go upper middle, so to speak. And I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm going to put it right there. So then eventually, once this card settles down a little, it will go right there. So now I'm going to take this piece that we've just created, and I'm going to crispy edge that. And I'm going to bring in the piece that says poppin' up to say hi. Let me fold that down. You will have a piece that is striped, and that is going to lay underneath that little mountain. It might be a little bit longer. It's okay, just trim it off, okay? So let's put that piece on next. And I'm just gonna put it right underneath that little set of mountains, so to speak. I don't know what they are. And I'm just going to do that little trim. So this is what I have. Now this is the piece that will lay here, but when we go to adhere it, we only want to adhere it on this bottom section, not this top section, because we want it to be able to pop up. So I'm going to lay this upside down so that I can see right where I need it to be, and I'm going to be very generous in my adhesive in this section because it will get a workout, so I want to make sure I have enough where it's going to hold. So now I'm going to center this here. Just like that. So now when it goes to pop up, it has that spot to hold, and now it's popping up. All right. So far, so good. We're going to close that panel, and we're going to close these exterior panels. Now, for a little while, they are going to be a little challenging for them to stay folded down, but eventually they will. You may have to do a little more trimming off of these edges, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to carefully cut a little bit more off. And I'm just trimming like ever so little. I mean, it is, like a hair that's coming off. Okay, so now let me see. Oh, much better. Much better, much better, much better. And eventually it will work its way down again. And we're going to put these pieces, and again, yours should meet somewhere. All right. I really was cognizant of that as I was cutting so that your pattern would meet. So kind of be mindful of that. And I'm going to put my polka dots out here. I'm going to do the other polka dot, and then we're going to work on the belly band. And the belly band will also help it to stay closed. Just like that. And I'm going to close this one up. See how now mine is closing? And this has been closed, closed, open and closed for so many months. but that belly band will help it to stay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that purple strip. I'm going to slide it towards the back of my card. And I'm just going to kind of make sure that I'm on some lines so that this band can get itself also onto a line. And you're just going to sort of center it right to left, left to right. And I'm going to take my right hand side and I'm going to fold it in on itself. Now my left side, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to have it where it's too tight. I want it to be a little bit loosey-goosey. And it's going to overlap just a little bit, not by much. So for my closure, I am going to use my liquid glue. Maybe. I don't think I'm out. Let's just put the pin back in it. There we go. I'm going to put a little bead right there. And now I'm going to press that closed and hold it for a moment. And this little panel is what's going to cover this and give it a little more substance. And I'm going to see, did I foam it? I did. I did put a little foam. So I'm going to put a little foam here in the center so that then that will stick there. And I don't need much. So I'm going to put a little piece there and a little piece there. I'm going to peel those backings off. And now I'm going to place that die cut piece right on top. So now you should be able to slide back and forth. Let's put our little gems on next. And they're all the same size. So I'm going to do one down here by my little mushroom stem. And then I'm going to do 2 above my message. Whoa, that went flying. Not there. I want them both on this die cut piece, just like that. And that, my friends, is our 4th card. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. The recipient is going to just love it. So I'm going to show you our cards for January. And again, they are a sympathy theme. And I even kind of went as far as keeping it kind of in the same color palette. So this is our first card. And it just says, with deepest sympathy. And then this will stand like that. So this is our fancy fold. And then the back side is just here for you always. And you would just do your little sentiment here. You would just sign here. You would even, if you wanted, you could put another piece of paper over these and then write a bigger message if you wanted. Okay, so that is card number 1. Card number 2 is this one, and it is embossed. We got a little bit of glitter. We have a bow. We have some sparkles, and then just a little bit of pattern paper. Now this pattern paper is actually in the last chance section also. It's called Peace on Earth. I think is what it's called. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's stunning paper. It has doves on it. It's very, very pretty. So this one is with deepest sympathy, and then the inside, those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day, unseen, unheard, but always near, still missed, still loved, still very dear. I thought that sentiment was just perfect. So that is card number 2. Card number 3 has the beautiful dove. Sorry for your loss. And then the inside, those we love can never be more than a thought away. For as long as there's a memory, they live in our hearts to stay. I thought that was just such a beautiful. Now, most of the stamps, this one's close to my heart. So is this one. This, I believe, is, I can't remember. That one's close to my heart. I do know that. I think this is a Stampin' Up, and this one was a Stampin' Up, but then that might have been close to my heart. I can't keep these straight. And then our 4th one is Sent with Lots of Love. And then the inside, wishing you peace and comfort, the courage to face the days ahead, and loving memories to hold forever in your heart. That is definitely a close to my heart one. So those are our 4 cards. I just need to photograph them and do an event. And the cost did go up $2, so they are $12 now for class. And the due date will be, I'm trying to think, because class will be January 8th. Because I believe the first Thursday of January is actually New Year's Day. We're not having class. So it will be that following week. So this will be due like right between Christmas and New Year. So I'm saying if you want to get in, send your payment immediately. Okay? So these will get photographed this weekend and posted and all that good stuff. And have a super duper evening. Thanks for being on with me for over an hour tonight. I hope you enjoyed your class and you learned something tonight. All right? And I will see some of you on Sunday Fun Day. Good night.